Hello everyone, this is my second game from my standard games of 2013 and onwards. This is a game from the EACU Championships, which is a county championships for different counties in England. I was playing John Peters from Suffolk, who was a 140 estimated, and I was a 143 myself. I was playing for Cambridgeshire. He played e4, I played e6, so my typical French, d4, d5, knight d2, d takes e4, knight takes e4, knight f6, knight takes f6, queen takes f6, knight f3. And following my previous game, which was against Philip Fallon, I don't know how many of you saw that, but in that game I played bishop d6 and he played bishop g5 and slowly beat me. Mercilessly as well. So I played h6, he played c3, I played bishop d6, he played bishop d3. This game had a time limit of 1 hour 30 minutes and 36 moves plus 20 minutes, and I was already down to about 83 minutes and he had 75 minutes ish. So I castled, he castled, bishop d7, queen c2, bishop c6, bishop h7. I think this is a bit of a pointless move really, because even if I play king h8, he just has to retreat, so it was basically a loss of a tempo. So here bishop takes e4, queen takes e4. My light coloured bishop's bad because I have got the central pawns on white squares, so I would prefer my dark bishop. So knight c6, e4, so he's already starting to attack at my queen side. He's currently threatening something along the lines of b5, knight moves out, queen takes b7. However, currently I can play knight a5. So a6, a4. Currently there is no threat of b5 because a takes, and then rook takes pawn. So I just put my queen back because I think my queen can be better placed. Probably queen f6, the queen on f6 is okay, however at the time I obviously thought that retreating the queen would have been better. He played knight e5 here, so he's decided to take control over the center and probably follow it up with something maybe like f4, maybe bishop f4. So obviously currently I cannot play knight takes e5 because d takes e5 winning the bishop, and he has got some threats such as knight takes knight, winning a piece, well, winning a pawn. And if I play something retreating like knight d8, knight b8, it isn't really how I would like to play, because the knight will be, well, stuck. In fact, I'll be forced to play knight d8 to protect my b pawn. And from there he will have no threats, but he does have some attacking moves like knight g4, threatening the h6 pawns. There are sacrifices, etc. Maybe even f4, f5. If I retreated the knight, well, you get the point. Probably I could have maybe retreated it, but I decided to open up a file for my rook. He played bishop e3, I played rook d5, so trying to get my pieces active. f4, okay d8. So this is quite an interesting position, I'd say, because I have probably got quite a good control over the center, while he has got good control over the queen side, and he's starting to gain control over the king side. And to be honest, he has got quite a bit of control in the center, so he's probably got the better position. If you look at Fritz analysis, 1 minute. Well, actually, I'm better even after bishop c5. So I'm not doing too badly. It's actually because of this rook here and this rook here that I have got this advantage. He played rook fb1. Let me just bring this down again. So he played rook f3-1, I played rook d3. So my pieces are starting to get active. Rook on the 6th is quite strong. I'm threatening to win the c pawn. So bishop c5 is a strong move. At any rate, queen d7. So my pieces are starting to come alive in this d file. And even though he has got control over the queen side and king side, because my pieces have an entry point, that's going to cause him a lot more bother. So bishop d4, so this may look like, wow, he's just won my rook. I just played rook d2. So rook d1 and knight takes d4. So if we now look at the analysis, he's now winning. No, it's equal. So I have gone a bit down from my original position. If we go back, but let's just see what the computer analysis says of this. So yeah, I have been going down quite a bit. I apologize for my computer slowness, or should I say lack of pace. So queen d7, still better for me, but yeah, bishop d4. In fact, it is all forced really. Rook d2. Yeah, so you can see that Fritz is saying that after rook d1 I should play rook d2. Slightly interesting, but let's just remove that, it's taking too long. So I play knight takes d4, rook takes d2, and now I thought I'll be clever with this move. Queen takes, and rook f1. Queen takes b7, I'm not sure about, because if he plays queen takes b7, I have got a queen check, followed by queen takes pawn, and there's about 1,000,001 threats that are coming up, so probably queen takes b7 is not a good idea for white. So that's a good move. Queen offers the trade. Queen takes, rook takes. So now this is definitely a drawn position. The time at the moment was on move 27. He had just over 10 minutes and I had just over 43 minutes. So he had been taking his time over this while I hadn't. So rook c1, king g8, king f2, rook d2 check, king f3, king f8, h3, b6, c4, g6, c5, rook d4, c takes b6, c takes b6, rook b1, a5, b takes a5, b takes a5, rook a1, g5. So here, I'd probably say that I've got a slight advantage. I have got a more active rook. However, after this, my pawns are going to be slightly unprotected. So Fritz gives the evaluation as equal, as you can see on the bottom right. So g3 he played here, king g7. So technically my previous moves of king g8 and king f8 are all pointless because I should have just played king g7 earlier. So h4, takes, king forward, king d3, rook b4, rook g1, king h5, rook g7, rook b7, f5, e takes f5, and now he could have pushed his pawn forward. But you can see here that I played my king onto the wrong side of the board. I should have played centrally. Also, the g5 move was bad, and now suddenly he's the one who's going to win. So rook e7. If we go back a couple of moves, he should have just pushed his pawn forward one square, because that just would have won the game for him. But anyway, he played king over. Oh, sorry, he does have to do that, because if he plays that move currently, then the rook can come over and pin the pawn to the king, so that is forced. However, this was unnecessary. He now should have pushed the pawn forward. King takes. Actually, no. Once again, if he pushes the pawn forward, I can play rook up here, check, and then take the pawn, and then I would win. So king takes pawn, rook e7, rook g1, h5, rook h1, king g3, rook takes h5, king f3, king f6, rook c7, and e6. So I'm not sure e6 was the correct move. Probably rook to h7 might have been better. But in any event, he did play e6. And by this time, he was down to 4 minutes because the time had been increased. He was on 4 minutes after 49. So takes, king over, rook over. The wrong side to play the rook onto. Should have just retreated onto the other side. That way the king can then cut in, and I would have had a better king and rook endgame, more chance of drawing. But here, my king is now cut off, so the king and pawn endgame isn't that good for me. I probably should have played my king over to b4, would have been better, but in any event, I think it's still lost. So I tried, but failing, and you can just see that the game is completely lost here. Just a couple of repeating rook moves, pawn forward, yep, and now the game is pretty much over. Just go through the last few moves. Yeah, so that game finished quite quickly. It shows that even though you have a better position in the middle game, you have to know how to convert it, and in that game I messed it up a little bit with my endgame. So it shows that you can't have a complete game of chess without knowing every single part. In the first game, my opening ruined it. In this game, the endgame ruined it. Anyway, my next game will be the second game of the EACU County Championships, which was against Paul Lawrence, who was a 1-4-3. Hope to see you again soon.